Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you're coming on, please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, and let them know your boy, my squad in the Ramonepreston Show. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day that the Lord has made. I'm already rejoicing and I'm glad in it. Today is Tuesday, November the 22nd. We're just 2 days away from Thanksgiving. I want to wish all of you an early happy Thanksgiving. My hope and expectation is that your week, your day has been absolutely amazing. If for some reason it hasn't been, we're going to see if we can change that today. So welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Today is Tuesday, November the 22nd. We're right here live in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta, just 2 days before Thanksgiving, 2 days before Turkey Day. What I need you to do is put in the comments what city you're watching me from today. I would love to know where you're watching your boy from. I want to say congratulations also. Congratulations to you and to everyone who has taken advantage of the offer that we've extended for the past couple weeks. Just in case you don't know, we have extended an offer for two of our signature courses on holding companies and creative tax strategies, two of the most important concepts that you need to learn. We've extended an offer for two of those courses for only $197. These two courses are a part of our $1,500 Millionaire Blueprint program, which we give you 1 year access to that program. And so we decided to extend an offer for $197 for those two courses so that you can learn how to start and structure holding companies and you can learn creative tax strategies. So I'll extend that offer and give you more information on it at the end of the show. But for now, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I am your host, Ramonepreston. And just like today, this beautiful Tuesday, November the 22nd, I come here every Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock noon. And my purpose, my objective, my goal is to share information with you that I know you can use in your personal life, your professional life, your financial life. So whether you are a W-2 employee, you might be a 1099 independent contractor, even if you're a preacher or minister or just a legitimate business owner, I like to give you principles, and I use this show to give you these principles and share concepts with you that I know can make you a six-figure earner and at some point can help you become a millionaire. So if you have dreams to become a millionaire, if you know deep down in your heart you should be financially free and you just don't know how to get there, you don't have the information, you ain't got the tools, you might not have the resources, you might not have the networks, well, all that changes on this show because I'm showing you that I'm an example that you can go from, like me, hood figure to seven figures. You can build a $1 million, soon to be multi-million-dollar organizational enterprise if you're just willing to get committed and be consistent with certain types of information. That's why I give you the game, because I know I didn't have anybody helping me when I got started in business. I didn't have anybody co-signing for me. Nobody gave me a loan. Nobody gave me a lift up. Nobody opened the door for me, brought me in a room. I had to scrap this thing out. I had to figure this thing out. And it really helped me to be who I am today, because even today, I still think like that. I still have that mentality that, you know what? I'm not going to wait for nobody to help me figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. And so now that I'm working towards building an 8-figure, 9-figure, 10-figure business, guess what? I still have the same mentality. But enough of that. Today's show, I want to talk to you about the 5 keys to protect your cash flow. 5 keys to protect your cash flow. Now, if you don't have any cash flow, if you don't have any, if you ain't got that CASHFLOW, it don't mean you still don't need to learn how to protect it, okay? So today I'm talking to you about the 5 keys to protect your cash flow. Now, before I give you these 5 keys, let me break a few things down. First of all, when I say cash flow, I ain't necessarily talking about income. I'm talking about income less expenses equals cash flow. So for example, whatever the money that you got coming in, whatever your total income is, when you deduct your expenses, whatever's left is cash flow. All right, and I want to show you how to protect your cash flow. Now, if you don't have enough cash flow, well, guess what? Then that means you got to make more income. And you have to figure out how to make more income or increase your income and lower your expenses. So just for a mathematical equation real quick, you got income and then you got expenses. And if you have positive income, okay, and you minus or subtract your expenses, you should come out with cash flow. And here's what I like to say, because I teach this in one of my courses called the ABCs of Financial Literacy. Here's what I like to tell my students and my clients in my coaching program, that even if you don't have positive cash flow, you still want to know how much negative cash flow you got. It don't matter where you at financially, you still just need to know where you at. A lot of people, individuals who work jobs, and especially entrepreneurs who run businesses, a lot of people don't even know where they at in their cash flow. Are you negative or are you positive? Now, it's hard to do this because I remember the time when I had more expenses than I had income, which means every month I was negative. I didn't have enough money to pay my expenses, so my cash flow was negative. But I used to always tell my wife when we were at those points that even though I don't have enough to pay all my bills and to cover everything, I still want to know how much am I behind. So for example, if you make, let's say if you make $5,000, and I know that's a high number, so let's just say something reasonable. Let's say if you make $3,000 a month, okay? And let's say your expenses are $4,000 a month. Well, that means you are negative $1,000. Does that make sense? I just want you to see how this works so you can understand the concept of cash flow, and you can learn to use the keys to protect your cash flow. So whatever your income is, you take all of your income for 30 days and you gather it together. You could just look at how much money you brought in October. Look at how much money you brought in September. Look at how much money you brought in August. And really, when you're doing your mathematical equations, it's always good to look at it from a year perspective, but at least go back 90 days and look at, okay, the last 90 days, how much money did I make? August, September, and October. How much money did I make? And then you average it out a month. So if you made $10,000 in the last 3 months, then that may average about what, $3,000 a month, $3,500 a month. So in this example, let's say your income is $3,000 a month, but let's say your expenses are $4,000 a month. Well, that means you're negative $1,000 in cash flow. You have a negative cash flow of $1,000. But as I said, whether you negative or positive, you want to know your numbers. I always talk to my students and my clients about this. I guarantee if you talk to anybody that's in any of my courses, any of my programs, or that I work with, they'll tell you one of the main things Ramonepreston always talks about is numbers, is math, is understanding your numbers and your math when it comes to your business. Why? Because when you understand the numbers, when you can do the math, it's easy for you to figure out a way to come out of the situation you're in. So again, in this example, you would be negative. Some of you might not be negative in cash flow. You might have $4,000 a month coming in and you're only paying $3,000 a month in expenses, and you might have $1,000 left every month. But whatever your number is, I want you to do the math, because what I want you to figure out is, how can I increase my income? That's always something you want to do. You want to always look for ways to increase your income. You want to always look for ways to increase your income. That might not mean you can get another job. One of the best things you can do to increase your income, especially if you work a job, is to create another stream of income with sales, like learning to sell. You could do affiliate marketing, you could do network marketing. You can find some type of opportunity to work with somebody and they give you a commission if you bring them referrals or you bring them business. Like my company, what I like to do is I like to when I hire anybody, it's only a handful of us here, but guess what? Everybody on my team that work for my company, they have a job to do, but then they also have an opportunity to make commissions because they got products and services that they can sell. And if they sell them, if they refer people to us, if they get the deals and give people an opportunity to purchase products and services, they're going to get paid a commission from that outside of their regular job. This is how you show people how to increase their income. So if you want more cash flow, even before you start protecting cash flow, because you can't protect something you ain't got. But if you want cash flow so that you can learn how to protect it, and I'm going to show you 5 keys to protect it, you need to learn ways to increase your income. And while you're learning how to increase your income, you want to learn how to decrease your expenses. But again, I wouldn't put more emphasis on decreasing expenses than I would increasing income. This is why people who are always thinking about, oh, I need a budget, are always focusing on expenses. Most of the times when you hear people talking about, oh, I need to get a budget, my budget ain't right, my budget this, my budget that. These are people who are always focusing on this. They always focus on expenses. How can I not buy Starbucks coffee? If I don't pay $2.97 for Doppio, then I'm gonna save a couple $100 a month. Who cares? Like, that ain't gonna determine your outcome. Your income is going to determine your outcome more than your expenses. Now, of course, you want to manage your expenses and you want to stabilize them, but don't just get so focused on, man, I got to lower my expenses. No, you need to increase your income. Because here's the thing, people who increase their income, they really don't mind increasing their expenses, because the more money you make, the more money you're going to spend on making more money. Like, it's just the way it is. I often tell people, if you wanted to make $1 million, but you were told that the only way you can make $1 million, you're going to have to spend $600,000 or $700,000, would you be willing to spend $600,000 or $700,000 to make $1 million? Most people wouldn't be able to do that. That's why they don't make no money. But when you start making money and you start understanding the game, which is what I'm going to talk about in a few minutes, you will understand that increase income, minimizing or stabilizing expenses so that you can solidify, so that you can have some type of cash flow. Okay, so your cash flow is the free cash you got coming in after your expenses have been deducted from your income. So that's what we want to focus on today, and I want to share with you 5 keys to protecting your cash flow. So what is the first key? The first key to protecting your cash flow is you need to learn the money game. You need to learn this. You need to learn the money game. All right? You need to learn the money game. And I think a lot of people don't understand what it means to learn the money game. So for example, in order to, and this is just like a layman's term. You know, I'm from the hood, so I'm just giving you like a hood version. A more proper way of saying learn the money game will be you need to learn financial intelligence. You need to become financially literate. In other words, you need to learn the money game. Now, how do you learn the money game? If this is the first key to protecting your cash flow, how do you learn the money game? Well, you have to learn about several things that relate to money. You got to learn about debt. You got to learn about credit. You got to learn about banking. Okay? You got to learn about investing. You definitely have to learn about business. Like, all of these things relate to the money game. Remember, the money game, this is a game. It's like Monopoly. You got to learn to play this game. And a lot of people, they are financially illiterate. They are not financially intelligent enough. And I say it respectfully because I used to be financially illiterate. I used to be unintelligent when it came to money. And there was a time in my life where I was making, my wife and I, we was making 6 figures, but I was spending a whole lot of the money that I was making, and it really wasn't on like designer clothes and fancy cars. At some point it was, but for the most part, you know, a lot of my money was just being unmanaged. I wasn't managing it correctly because I didn't have the level of intelligence that I needed with more than just making money. Okay? Now, when you learn the money game, you also have to learn about sales. You got to learn about marketing. Like, it's a whole lot of stuff you got to learn when it comes to money. You have to learn about financial systems like QuickBooks. You got to learn taxes. So it's a whole lot that goes into the money game. But just to simplify my point, the easiest way to learn the money game is to learn, please catch this, is to learn how to make money. How to make, how to manage, and how to multiply money. This is the money game. Like, when you can learn the basic fundamentals of making money. Like, what is the basic fundamentals? I have to learn how to sell something. I got to learn how to communicate. I got to learn how to take ideas and turn them into products and services. If you're an entrepreneur, if you own a business, learning the money game is about learning how to make money. How do you take your business, your products and your services? How do you come on the internet? How do you knock on doors? How do you call people? How do you email people? How do you go to networking events? How do you connect with people? And how do you get people to buy your products and services? That's a part of the money game you got to learn. Otherwise, you ain't gonna never have no cash flow to protect. But then once you start learning how to make money and you start making money, the next thing you need to do is learn how to manage it. Now, managing money is about being able to not just put money in a bank. It's being able to delay gratification. It's about being disciplined to not spend your money and to live on less than what you make. And you never change the quality of your lifestyle until you're in a financial position that you have enough cash flow to do other things with your money, which brings me to the multiplying side of money. See, one of the things that me and my wife always did was we figured out how to make money. And then when we started making money, we got better at managing the money because we decided to live beneath our means. So we lived on much less than what we made. I mean, and for a good 2 or 3, I'll say about a good 2-year window, my wife and I was living like I teach something that I've learned about the 40% rule. Basically, however much money you make, you try to put 40% up for future investments, right? And my wife and I, for about a 2-year window, maybe a little bit more, we were putting up more than 40%. We might have was putting up maybe 50% of everything we had coming in. And it just exploded within a year or two because, I mean, think about it. You could just put a couple $1,000s up, depending on how much money you make in a month. You could put a couple $1,000s up, and before a year or two is out, you can easily have tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars set aside if you know how to make it, manage it. And then what my wife and I decided to do, even though we're in real estate and we do a lot of real estate, we consult people in real estate, we provide services for people in real estate. Real estate is like bread and butter for us. But for a season, my wife and I decided not to even invest in real estate, only because we wanted to take free cash flow and we wanted to recycle it in our business, because we did the math and we felt like our business could bring a bigger return on investment if we recycled it in our business, and it was moving our money quicker because we caught a rhythm. So you got to be careful just putting all your money in your business, using it as an investment vehicle. If you ain't got stability, that means you got to have the right things in place in order to do it. But the first key to protecting your cash flow is you got to learn the money game, and you got to learn it as quick as you possibly can, especially with what you see going on right now. So you listening to everybody's talking about something is happening, recession and this and that, the markets are tripping, there's a supply and demand issues, the price of goods and services are going up, you're dealing with interest rates, inflation, everything is happening, right? these are times where you gotta really like dial in on, I gotta learn this thing for real. I need to be studying credit. I need to learn how to leverage my credit. I need to understand banking. I need to understand investing. I need to learn about business and economics. I need to learn more about finances, like financial planning. These are all the things that I teach in some of my courses. I teach you the basics of financial planning. Income and expense tracking. You have to learn financial systems. You got to learn tax strategies. These are the things that are going to help elevate your intelligence when it comes to the money game. All right, that's number one. All right, let's get to number two. Number two, the second key to protect your cash flow is you have to maximize the tax system. You have to maximize the tax system. Like I keep telling people this all the time. This is why I'm offering the 2 courses that I'm offering for $197, because a lot of people who got businesses today, and even some people who don't have businesses, they're going to leave 2022 and they're going to go into 2023, and then they're going to go to do their taxes next year, and they're going to find out they owe a lot in taxes, and they're going to be mad at the CPA. So we give CPAs bad raps. We give tax strategists and these professionals bad raps because you bringing them all your unorganized info, and you think they can just like pull a rabbit out of a hat and fix your tax problem. No, what you're supposed to do as an entrepreneur is be responsible. You should be the first fiduciary of your own business. So a tax person assumes a fiduciary role to help you, but they're not running your business through the year. I always tell students and clients that I work with this, that you can't think that CPAs and tax experts are going to run your business for you. They have a job to do. They got a business to run. Their business is to serve you and to provide this service to you, but not to run your business through the year, especially if you ain't paying them to check in every quarter. If you're not paying a CPA or a tax strategist a retainer, if they're not on your, like your speed dial list, that ain't their fault. It's your fault, because you're trying to be cheap and you're trying to pay once a year, and you think they're going to just pull out a magic wand and fix all your problems. No, you got to learn at least the fundamentals. Like, I'm not a tax expert. I'm just an entrepreneur that wants to maximize the tax system, okay? That's a big difference. So information that I share about taxes is not expert information and advice, because I'm not the expert. So I don't have the information and advice that the expert has. However, as an entrepreneur who wants to maximize the tax system and who understands that there are ways to do it legally and morally, right? I have a tax strategist, CPA, that I work with. They have access to my QuickBooks accounts. I pay retainers regularly, so I can call them, I can text them, I can email them. When I'm making a business decision, when I'm making a transaction financially, I can easily reach out to them and say, hey, what is this? What is that? Or should I do this? Should I do that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And even if I don't do it, they will chime in every month or 2 or quarter and say, hey, Ramon, I saw ABCDE on your accounting system. Like, what is that? What does that mean? And then they'll tell me, oh, you need that the wording is not right, or what you did, you needed to do that, or if you're going to do this, do that. In other words, they are helping me to maximize the tax system, because they understand, and everybody who's making money and who's running successful businesses, they understand that a part of key number 1 of learning the money game is learning how to maximize the tax system. That means you got to learn, number 1, you got to learn how to manage your financial transactions. You got to be familiar with some type of financial management system like QuickBooks. Like, it baffles me. It baffles me. And if this is you, I hope this embarrasses you. I hope you are embarrassed as an entrepreneur. But it baffles me that there are entrepreneurs in 2022 who call themselves business owners, who out there running businesses and who ain't even got a doggone QuickBooks account. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Now you might be thinking, oh, you think you all that now because you got a little success? No, I don't. Because even before I had business success, I took the time and I took my money to learn QuickBooks. And here's the thing about it. They've got QuickBooks online now. They've got like cloud-based QuickBooks. When I started learning QuickBooks, it was desktop. So you had to have a computer. It was a CD-ROM. You put it in your computer, you downloaded it, and the desktop version is way more complicated than the online version. So it took me a while to figure that thing out. And I was still making mistakes. But guess what? I had to do it because I wanted to have a legitimate business. I didn't want to be a shade tree entrepreneur. I didn't want to operate my business under the table. I wanted to file my taxes every year, whether I was paying a lot of taxes or not. Because of maximizing the tax system, I still wanted to file my paperwork. I wanted to be legit. I wanted to feel good about myself. I wanted my wife and my family to be proud of me, to know that, man, this dude got a legitimate business. This dude is doing the right thing, and you should feel the same way. And it baffles me how many entrepreneurs and people who got LLCs who ain't even got no doggone QuickBooks account. You could get a QuickBooks account. As a matter of fact, if you don't have a QuickBooks account and you need a QuickBooks account, I want you to reach out to me. I'm gonna send you a link, and we have an ambassador link because we are QuickBooks ambassadors. Our company is. And we can send you a link and you could get up to a 55% off discount for at least the first 90 days of your subscription, okay? And I'll be more than happy to give you information on how to set up your account, how to configure it. I've got workshops that I do just on QuickBooks. I've got courses in my Millionaire Blueprint that I teach you step by step. I just had a client told me a couple weeks ago that they went through my workshop and they set up their QuickBooks account and they're learning how to configure it to work for their business. So if you want to maximize the tax system, first thing is you got to have a QuickBooks account or something similar, some type of financial management account for your business. You should have one for your personal, but if you ain't got one for your personal, you probably ain't got one for your business. And then once you get this account set up and you connect your bank account to it, now you can start tracking your financial transactions. You can start tracking how much money you got coming in, how much money you got going out. Otherwise, it don't matter if you're trying to maximize the tax system and you ain't got no system in your business to track your income and expenses, because you don't know what you're gonna write off. You don't know how much you need. I mean, it just don't matter, okay? That's number 2. Let's get to number 3. The third key to protecting your cash flow is you have to understand, this is a big word, leverage. You have to understand leverage. So if you want to protect your cash flow, you have to understand leverage. Now, understanding leverage is like multi-layered. Okay, because there are a lot of things you can leverage if you're going to protect your cash flow. There are a lot of things you're going to leverage. Like, let me give you an example. A lot of people who got money, they don't really spend their money on the things that they do, or the things that they buy, or the things that they want. Like, I know a lot of business owners who drive nice cars, they live in nice houses, they have nice offices, they've got the best technology, the best equipment, they got staff, they do a lot of stuff, right? But they're not really using their cash flow because they're protecting their cash flow. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're not taking money out of their bank and spending it to pay for whatever the stuff is that they need through their business. What they're doing is, number 1, they learn the money game. They maximize the tax system, and what they do is they leverage things like credit. So they leverage their credit. They leverage debt. They leverage people. Even systems. They leverage systems. Like, they leverage all this stuff. So a lot of times you see people doing certain things in business and they're not even using their cash flow. See, there was a time I didn't have cash. I didn't have all this stuff. I didn't have systems. I didn't have people. I didn't have debt. I didn't have credit. So I had to use whatever cash I had to keep business going. But once I started making money, and once I started pushing cash flow aside and building up that reserve, I realized that banks favored me because now they're looking at cash flow saying, oh, you don't have to spend your money. We will give you debt. We will give you credit so that you can hire more people, so that you can pay for different systems, whether it's business systems, whether it's technology, whether it's investment vehicles. They are going to partner with you on that because they understand leverage, and you need to understand leverage, okay? That's key number 3. Number 4, like, I'm giving you some game right now. And remember, all this information that I'm giving you on a show, I teach my students. I have a whole entire 1-year business and financial wealth building system called the Millionaire Blueprint. It is called the Millionaire Blueprint because it is a millionaire blueprint. It is the same blueprint that my wife and I have used. It is the same blueprint that clients of ours use. It's the same blueprint that students in our program use. And it's the same blueprint that can make you a millionaire if you use it, because you're learning the things that I'm talking about. So key number 4, the 4th key to protect your cash flow is you have to beat inflation. You have to beat inflation. Now, how can you beat inflation? Let me tell you something. Inflation runs fast. And inflation is kind of like taxes, but it's like invisible taxes. That's what inflation is. Inflation is like this sneaky stealth tax fighter that comes against you and your money and your business, and you don't see it until you see it. And by the time you see it, you realize what you could buy with $1 yesterday, you have to pay $2 for today. That's how it sneaks up on you. So if you look at certain things you could go to the dollar store and buy 10 years ago, or certain stores and buy 10 years ago, you can't go buy those things for the same price today. So it was like 99 cents 10 years ago. Now it's $1.39. So what happened to that 99 cents? Well, what happens was the price of goods and services go up and the value of that dollar goes down, because now I can't buy today with $1 what I could buy yesterday with $1. So this is called inflation. This is how inflation works. And the way you protect your cash flow is by, number 4, beating inflation. Now, there are certain ways you can beat inflation. Trust me, if you just put money in a bank, you're not beating inflation. If you just put money in a safe, you ain't beating inflation. Most of the stuff you put money in or you park money is not beating inflation. Inflation is beating a lot of those things. But if you got a business, you put your money in your business, especially if you put your business together the right way and it's moving fast because it's making money, it can beat inflation. If you put your money in real estate or certain investments, I don't go into all those other types of investments. You know, we're in the real estate field, so I'm gonna always lean towards real estate. But you put your money in real estate, you're going to beat inflation through depreciation, through protecting your cash flow, through appreciation, through leverage, because you're not using all your money. There's so many advantages of real estate. But my point to you is you have to figure out how you can take money that you have, cash flow, free cash, and put it in stuff that beats inflation. Okay? All right. Number 5, the 5th key to protect your cash flow is you have to utilize systems. You have to utilize systems. You have to utilize systems. Now, there's a couple things that I'm talking about when I say systems. Utilizing systems means you gotta get up to speed. You gotta get up to speed. It's 2022. So when you're running a business today, you need to be running your business through systems, not papers, not Rolodexes, You know what I mean? Like, you should have systems. You need systems. You need sales systems. You need marketing systems. You need financial systems. You need operational systems. And guess what? If you don't know anything about these types of systems, guess what? It's only because you do not have the information in front of you. That's the only reason why you don't have systems in place. Like, when you hear people like me say, you got to have systems in place, what they're basically saying is, when you start a LLC, because everybody love to start an LLC. Every time I talk to somebody, they're telling me, I got an LLC. So it ain't doing nothing. And if you don't have systems, then your LLC is just a good idea on paper. Okay? So when you have an LLC, how do you run the LLC? How does the LLC gonna make money? Well, the LLC needs to have products and services connected to it. And when you have products and services connected to it, you need to have systems. You need to have platforms that interconnect together, so that when you go out and market your products and services, and you start getting attention, and you start giving people call to actions, and you start connecting with people and networking and creating opportunities, you have some type of sales system that you can bring people in through, so that you can walk them through that process. And then when you start making money and generating revenue for your business, you have financial systems to track your income and expenses, so that you can determine if in fact you do have a tax liability, and what you can do to either eliminate it or minimize it along the way as you continue to grow your business. And then you're able to have operational systems to see what business activities are you doing that work. Some have revenue impact, some don't. Some are measurable, some might not be measurable. You can start creating operational systems and processes to gauge where you're going, what your KPIs are, your key performance indicators. All these things are going to determine how successful your business is. But it's all linked to protecting your cash flow. And if you're going to protect your cash flow, you got to utilize systems. So those are my 5 keys that I wanted to share with you to protect your cash flow. I would love to get some feedback from you. So put in the comments, like, what's the biggest takeaway you got from today's show? What did you learn about these 5 keys to protect your cash flow? What resonated with you? What got your attention? Put in the comments and let me know what your biggest takeaway was. All right? Just put it in the comments. Now, if you are interested in learning more about creative tax strategies, if you're interested in learning more about holding companies and building systems and really developing a successful business so that you can have cash flow, I have extended an offer for the past couple weeks, because I'm hosting on December the 3rd, I'm hosting a free web class. So it's going to be a 2-hour deep dive. And I'm going to take about 2 hours on December the 3rd live. It's going to be virtual. It's free. It's a free event. You can join me virtually from anywhere in the world. But you have to RSVP, okay? So you can get the link, get access to the link. But on Saturday, December the 3rd, for 2 hours, I'm going to do a deep dive on holding companies. We're going to show you how to start and structure holding companies. Maybe you already got an LLC, but you just don't know how to structure it the right way. Maybe you're kind of confused about systems and processes. And we're also going to talk about creative tax strategies, because that's an issue for a lot of entrepreneurs. And I don't want you, especially people who are in my community, I don't want you to go into 2023 with the uncertainty of your taxes, because you didn't track your income this year. You didn't know how to write things off. You didn't know anything about deductions. So I have a lot of students that take my courses, and I just got a message from a student. Like, I just got a message, I think it was yesterday, I got a message, and the student was telling me, I wish I can find it here. The student was telling me, let me see if I can pull it up so you don't think I'm lying. Because I don't lie about this kind of stuff. Let me see if I can find that. It was a student. There it is right here yesterday. So this was a student that sent me sent us a message like, when you take courses on my university platform, you can leave a review and you can share your experience. And someone left a review yesterday, and they said, this was a review on the course Creative Tax Strategies. They said, I never knew there were so many tax write-offs, and the strategies Mr. Preston has blew my mind. They said the most important takeaway for me was the tracking part. I would start but never keep going, and this is so important if I want to change my financial situation. So this is just somebody giving their review. So we get a lot of really good reviews on the courses. But again, December the 3rd, I'm going to be hosting a free web class, okay? And I'll take 2 hours to cover a lot of these principles and concepts that I'm talking about now. How to start and structure holding companies, creative tax strategies, how to integrate systems and processes in your business. But what I've offered my community is, while you prepare to join me on Saturday, December the 3rd for the free 2-hour web class, I wanted to give you a head start so you can get some education in, so that you can start learning some of these principles and concepts. And so I'm offering two courses for $197. So remember, I have an entire online training program. It's called the Millionaire Blueprint. Okay, it's about 20 something odd courses, hundreds of videos, documents, forms, tutorials on how to start and structure holding companies, creative tax strategies, systems and processes, on sales, marketing, financials, operations, goal setting, real estate investing. It's a lot of information in this program. It's a 1-year program, but it's a $1,500 program. Of course, you're free to get access to the whole one if you want it. But for those of you who want to prepare in a very simple way and you just need access to 1 or 2 courses, I'm offering 2 courses for $197. And you can choose whatever 2 courses you want. I would recommend that you start the holding company course and the creative tax strategy course, especially if you already have a business and you got a little money coming in and you just don't know how to do your paperwork so that next year you can be legit. I would really encourage you and recommend you to take those 2 courses. But if you already have those 2 courses, maybe you bought the 2 courses in the last offer I had in October, then there are 2 other courses. You can have a course on systems and processes, maybe on real estate investing, or maybe something else that you're interested in, like sales or marketing. Whatever the choice is, you can choose. If you need assistance with making the right decision, just reach out to us. But these 2 courses I'm offering for $197. So all you have to do is text the word offer to 404-478-7213. Now, if you are not pre-registered for my free web class, when we reach out to you after you text offer to this number, we want to make sure we get you RSVP'd and signed up. So you can start taking these 2 courses, and then by the time we get to the web class, if you got any questions on your holding company, on your LLC, on your systems and processes, on your tax strategies, or whatever it is, you can ask those questions, and you already have a head start because you've already been educating yourself and learning and training and getting prepared so you can end this year strong. So all you have to do is text the word offer, text offer to 404-478-7213. So we'll be back here tomorrow. I probably won't be here on Thanksgiving. You know, our office is going to be closed. I got to give the team a couple days off. I mean, we work hard. We work all the time. And we work every day, all day. It don't matter what the day is. And trust me, if you mess around and text us or reach out to us on Thanksgiving, we gonna respond on Thanksgiving because we be about that business, bruh. We about that business, dog. We about that, but we about that business, sis. So don't get it twisted. You know, the office might be closed on Thanksgiving, but we can be available if you need us. So I would love to hear from you. Just text offer to 478-7213. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon, Eastern Standard Time. Same place, same time, right here on the Ramon Preston Show.